riding back, coming down to the finish. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, this is one stunning picture.
Honorary B is full out now, second on the outside. They're coming down the line. 1,000 words has done it.
Wow, what a morning. I'm Mike Welsch coming to you from Keeneland with the 2022 Breeders' Cup Daily Racing Form Clocker Report, brought to you by Spendthrift Farm, the home of Authentic, the 2020 Breeders' Cup Classic winner, whose first weanlings will sell this November. The stars are out this morning. I mean, everybody was out this morning. It seemed we had over 40 Breeders' Cup workers on the tab, including 16 or 17 on the turf course. Things really got hectic at the 7:30 and 9 o'clock breaks, and like I said, the stars were here. Flightline, Life is Good, Malathat, Ness, you can just name them all, but those were the big names on the tab. And we're going to start with Flightline, who brought out a big crowd this morning as predicted when he worked at 7:30. He was the second worker after the renovation break. Had Malathat right behind him, though. I got to give credit to the rider of Malathat for keeping her off of Flightline's heels. But Flightline got in a clean work, went 5 furlongs in 1 minute and 3/5. The last 3/8, however, in 34 and 3. You could just see him pick it up as he turned into the stretch and came to the wire. Did it easily, as usual. That giant monster stride of his on full display. Juan Leyva just pretty much a passenger all the way, as he has been in all his works. Gallop out was terrific. 7/8 in 1:26 and 1. Eased up a mile in 1:40 and 3. And I talked to Juan right after a little bit later, and he said just what we wanted. And I know that's a cliche, but it was just what we wanted. This was pretty much a maintenance work. Hard to believe with those times and splits and gallop out. But after his real big work last week at Santa Anita, more in maintenance mood today, and he was terrific once again. Life is Good came about an hour and a half later. He waited till after the second renovation break. And almost similar final time, 1 minute and 4/5 going 5/8, came his final quarter in 24. And he galloped out strong as usual, 1:26 and 1, same exact 7/8 time as Flightline, out a mile, even faster in 1:40. Now, I thought Life is Good was better today than what I saw last week. Maybe still not the same Life is Good I had seen all summer in New York, but I thought it was an improvement over what I saw last week. A very good work from Life is Good this morning. Also, Hot Rod Charlie from the Classic was out at 9 o'clock, and he was terrific once again as well. He's doing very well since he's gotten here to Keeneland for trainer Doug O'Neill. He went 5/8 in 1 minute and 1/5, galloped out in 1:14, had jockey Tyler Gaffleone aboard, and he did it as easy as can be. Tyler nudged him one time at the wire, and he went and galloped out 6 furlongs in 1:14, so another big move for Hot Rod Charlie. We had 4 distaff workers today, led by, as I mentioned earlier, the Todd Pletcher duo of Malathat and Nest, who worked in company last week. They went in separate sets today, totally maintenance mode, but as impressive this week, I thought, as they were last week, just in maintenance moves. We had Malathat went 49 and 3, galloped out in 102 and 3 in company, held off her mate all the way through the wire and into the turn, and did it while going about as easy as can be. I thought she looked terrific today. Nest, a little slower away from the pole, a little slower to the wire, but the final time really means nothing here. 1.5 mile in 50 and 4, and like Nest, very, very good on the gallop out. Matter of fact, they both went from the wire into the turn in 13 seconds flat on the gallop out. We also had search results for Chad Brown, who's going to run in the loaded distaff as well. She went 5 furlongs in 101 and 2, and a nice gallop out for her as well. 14 and 4, pulled up 7/8 and 28 and 2. Another big move for search results. And also early this morning in the dark, awake at midnight for trainer Doug O'Neill. Went easily, went 5/8 and 101 and 1. Stayed on her left lead, though, all the way through the stretch. Now, I haven't seen much of her. I don't know if that's normal for her. You like to see them switch those leads, but she did not today, but did finish in 101 and 1. She had a target. She beat the target. She drew off, but again, finishing on that left lead. Other workers of note, there's too many to talk about all of them. Chad Brown had a pretty good morning besides search results. Blazing Sevens for the juvenile who worked last week in company with Jack Christopher. Went solo today, still went 47 and 3, did it easily, galloped out a minute and 4/5. I'm liking him more and more for that very tough juvenile. And then Jack Christopher also solo today, went very easy, 48-2 for Jack Christopher this morning. The turf course was very, very busy, like I said. 16 of them, I think, for the Breeders' Cup. The highlights for me, number one, domestic spending for Chad. Another big work this week in company with Virginia Joy, 102-2. Final time, didn't tell the whole story, though. The gallop out domestic spending was just tremendous on the gallop out, readily pulling away from Virginia Joy in another, like I said, second straight big move over the turf for domestic spending. His stablemates, Rogier and Regal Glory, closed out the entire Breeders' Cup action today. They were the last workers on the grass, 49-4, finished strong, galloped out very well as well. And also Major Dude and Annapolis for trainer Todd Pletcher. They were terrific today too, I thought. 50-2, final time, just so-so, but big gallop outs. They went another quarter mile around that sweeping turn and did it with a lot of energy. So a good morning for them as well. I might add too, as I noted yesterday, the turf course still had a lot of cut to it. I don't know what it was officially called, probably good again, but maybe a little bit on the softer side. So that's just a brief synopsis of what we saw today. If you want reports on all of these works that took place today and everything else we've seen so far and everything we're going to see, don't forget the Daily Racing Form Breeders' Cup Clocker Report, which will be available for both Friday and Saturday's card here at DRF.com. Still a lot more to go. We still have to see the final works for all the Steve Asmussen runners scheduled for tomorrow and Monday. And the Euros, we haven't even seen the Euros yet. So a lot to talk about when they get out here. Probably most of them over the turf course, maybe Monday, Tuesday, as they settle in early next week. So like I said, we've had a lot of major work so far, but still a lot to go. Keep it right here. Best coverage of the 2022 Breeders' Cup, DRF.com.